You are listening to In Conversation with Jennie and Mark.
Well, hello everybody. I am the Reverend Mark Adams from St Margaret's Church, Barking.
And I am the Reverend Jenny Adams from Holy Trinity, Prince Consort Road, South Kensington. Hello and welcome. Welcome back, everyone. This week, I'm going to go straight into it. We're looking at Advent 1, first Sunday of Advent.
Yeah,
Get the
Happy
wreath
New Year.
out, light the candles. Yeah, Happy New Year.
Get the cat. Have you remembered your Advent crown? I remembered it yesterday. Spoke to Carol, my church warden, said, Carol, it's Advent Sunday on Sunday. Like, ah.
I see. Mine's
Anyway,
been
at
sitting
least
on
I
my desk
remembered.
because I needed to remember where it was.
So, yes, Advent, here we go. Which means we're moving into Matthew's Gospel by the looks of it, because we've definitely got Matthew today. So I had to go and put my Luke commentaries away and find my Matthew commentaries.
We are for a few weeks, yes. Then we changed to John because I've been doing the
Well, John
rota.
always comes and goes. He's always
Mm.
popping in, popping out.
Just
Just popping
opening
in.
the door. Hello.
Yeah. Hi, I'm still here. Fourth gospel.
Okay, Matthew,
Okay.
the end of the world.
It's the end of
Matthew
the world. Here we
24.
go. It's the end
Matthew
of the world.
24, 36 to
Okay,
44.
here
Are
it
you going to put it on
comes.
screen?
I am going to put it on the screen. Are you going to read it?
I'll read it.
Okay.
But about that day and hour no one knows, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. For as the days of Noah were, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day Noah entered the ark, and they knew nothing until the flood came and swept them all away. So too will be the coming of the Son of Man. Then two will be in the field, one will be taken and one will be left. Two women will be grinding meal together, one will be taken and one will be left. Keep awake, therefore, for you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Therefore, you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour. Okay.
Okay.
Do you know
Okay.
what? We do the end of the world, the rapture every year, and I am struggling this year to talk about it. Um, I'm distracted by Noah. I've been thinking a lot about what it must have been like to be Noah. So we'll perhaps come on to
Sit-
that.
Sitting in
But
his
I'm
ark,
hoping
waiting
you've
for the
got some
rain.
words of wisdom. Um,
No, not really. I
oh,
mean, I
good.
think it's a
Okay.
fascinating. Well, we'll try. Well, we'll see. You never know. Some wisdom may emerge. Uh, you can live in
You
hope.
can't just waffle and hope that some of
I
it's
can.
wise.
I can. That's what I do. That's my way of operating. Waffle and just hope that something comes out. You not realise that by now.
Yes, but it's very irritating for a podcast. You can
It
only
is
do it
very
in real
irritating.
life.
Okay, so words of wisdom. Um, yeah, I mean, look, there's loads of sort of stuff tied up with this passage, isn't there? You've already mentioned the rapture. That's an interesting interpretation of it, which not everyone sort of agrees with. We've got we've got the whole thing about whether it's really talking about the end of the world or whether it's talking about the destruction of the temple or whether it's talking about both. You've got the whole thing about what does it mean to say that the Son doesn't know, and what does that mean for our Christology, which is about who Jesus is. And you've got the whole thing within that as well about everyone thinks they do know when the end of the world is going to be, and we're always predicting it, despite the fact that Jesus has clearly told us we don't know. So those are my sort of starters for 10, if you like, of different things that spring to mind as I look at this passage. What do you think?
So obviously my starters for 10 are a bit more flippant. So
Of course.
of course, yes. So it reminds me a bit in the Vicar of Dibley when Alice asks Geraldine when he's coming because her mum wants to put the dinner on. And when Geraldine says, no, 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 the whole point is we don't know. She goes, how rude. You can't just turn up unexpected. How rude.
Well, it's certainly going to give people a bit of a shock, I think, that's for sure. And it is hard, of course, to kind of think could be
Um,
today. But actually, interestingly, of course, well, I did a little bit reading some Tom Wright,
I
of
think
course. it's
Go
both
on.
personally. The only other thing I suppose to say, and then I will shut up, but let me just make this point, is that it's both personally, it could be the end of the world, it could be the end of our world. The bus may come along today and we may go under it, and we don't know. So you've got to be ready. So
That
there you go.
is,
What are
yeah,
you going to say?
that's true. That's cheery.
Yeah, I didn't say it was
Happy
I didn't say
Advent, not Happy
full of the
Christmas
joy,
there, isn't
full
it?
of the joy. I'm just saying that that's part of the message, and actually it is true. So go on, over
Yeah, I
to you.
think over to me. I think we've mentioned before, but there is a whole series of Left Behind, and that we saw as youngsters. Well, I definitely saw as a youngster.
Well, I didn't
Um,
really, but yeah,
did you not? Did you not have the
no.
where it pretty much scares you into the kingdom of God rather than welcomes you in? It's like, and it has done. It's scarred me for life. I'm now in my 50s, and I can remember this film series that they showed me at Christian camp when I was 12, 13. But
I
I
mean, I
think,
think it's important to say within that there are different ways of interpreting this passage. So again, Tom Wright says that, when an invading army comes through, it's the ones that are taken away you want to worry about, not the ones that are left. Of course, it's a bit of a
yeah,
connection with 1 Thessalonians 4 we will be taken to meet the Lord in the air, and people have put that together with this and gone, well, that this is obviously describing the rapture, but it isn't necessarily.
and a bit
And
of Plato, because
what
Plato,
it was
heaven's
doing.
up in the sky, and
Well,
uh,
yes, yeah,
hmm,
absolutely, yeah. So we've
with
got a
Plato
bit
and
of
stuff.
dualistic stuff going on thinking there as
Um,
well. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it has kind of shaped my thinking because I look at it and I think this should be a really hopeful passage, but I have this inner kind of fear whenever I read it, and I think. I mean, you consider what I was saying last week of how I'm looking forward to the end of the world, I'm looking forward to Jesus' return, and I really am. And then I read this, and it just triggers into the same that film set that I was watching as a child, and I was a child really. Um, yes.
Well, of
Well,
course,
so
there
I
are. I mean, in the scriptures, both those things are true, aren't they? We are encouraged to hope, and He will wipe away every tear. That
mm,
beautiful picture in Revelation, and yet, it's not going to necessarily be what we expect. You know, Not everyone
well, it
accepts the
is going to be
normal entry
amazing,
into
isn't
heaven.
it? We're not going to
Yeah,
miss it. I
we're
think
not going to
that's
miss
the
it.
thing.
We're
We're
not
not
going to
going
miss
to
it.
miss it because it will be the end and the new beginning. So we're not going
Yeah,
to
that's
miss
right.
it.
We're not going to miss
Um,
it. Yeah.
so when the guy wanders into my church and tells me that he is the Messiah, I'm just like, probably not.
So you would want to see a positive take out of this, then? There's an
I don't
excitement
want
about
to
it there, then.
lose the excitement that I felt last week when I kind of went, Christ the King, and he's coming again, and it's going to be amazing. And then I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. It's this film where they're just minding their own business and one gets taken up and they've all got numbers on them. There's something about you have to hide your number. I can't really
Okay,
remember
so
what.
I think this is your bit of kind of theological scarring, for want of a better word, isn't it? Which, to the
Yes,
extent we all carry from
it really
different bits
is.
of art. But obviously, what's interesting is it's obviously had quite an effect on you. Sort of. I mean,
I
why
was
would that not be
terrified.
hopeful then? Because what was terrifying?
Because it was the people that you didn't expect that would be left behind. That was the overriding message. I mean, obviously the vicar was left behind because they're not proper Christians in that kind of
Well, there's no chance in that view we're going, is it?
theological world that I was living in at the
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
or
yeah,
church mission world.
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
yeah, they were left behind, but also, yeah, the well-respected members of the community that were part of the journey. And there was I can't really remember, I just remember the fear, but there was something about if you were left behind, you were marked. So if you weren't going to be taken, you were marked, and everyone was hiding their marks so that people didn't know that they were bad.
Okay,
It
but
was,
there's a lot that's been interpreted into that. They're pulling together a lot of different, and
yeah.
within they're pulling together a lot of different things, aren't they, from different scriptures? Because that's presumably, that's the mark of the beast and Revelation and all this kind of stuff. And I think you've got to come back to, what Jesus says. Don't speculate about it, but be ready for it. Don't get
Yes.
caught up in this sort of endless cycle of speculation. You don't know when it's going to be, but you need to be ready. So you need to live in the light of it, in the light of eternity, which is a challenge in itself. But don't get caught up in all the, is it going to be now? Is it going to be now? Is it there? Is it here?
And I suppose that feeds into why I'm quite attracted to Noah. I've been distracted a little bit since I first read it, of what it must have been like, because he was just building an ark whilst everyone else is getting on with their lives with no sign of rain coming. He is building a massive ark. And do you think they just ignored him? Do you think they mocked him? I think they probably just ignored him. Once they'd had a look and went, what a weirdo.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if we just think, well,
I
I
think they
mean, I suppose
probably
to be
just,
fair, if we saw that happening today and someone said, I'm building it because,
yeah.
what on earth are they doing? And that's, to be fair, probably the
Yeah, we
reaction.
wouldn't carry
So,
on going, oh, what a weirdo. We'd kind of go, well, that's strange, and then just carry on with our lives. And I don't think when I read the story of Noah, I've ever really thought about what everybody else was doing until they die. But but yeah. But yes, they must have just been getting on with it and not noticing the very obvious sign right in front of them, like a massive great arc.
so what sort of things do we need to do then to be ready? What's Jesus sort of telling us?
Well, I'm wondering whether it's
Yeah,
more look out now. What can you see? What can you see right in front of you? Where can you see God's work right in front of you? Or God's message right in
okay.
front of you? Um, I mean, we can go back to prayer. It always feels like such a wet end to a sermon. You need to pray more. Read your Bible.
Well, I know exactly what you mean. It always feels like, but you've also
Stating
got
the
to live that
obvious at
out,
the
haven't
end,
you?
isn't it? Mhm.
Yeah, although, you've got to live that out in practice, haven't you? You've got to.
Yes, yeah. But I feel it's a little bit stating the obvious. Everybody knows that, whether they do or
Okay, well, what
not.
else would
I
you
need
like
to
to
say
add?
something more
What
kind
else
of
do you want to add then? This is
empowering.
your chance. Add something else.
I don't know. I need the empowerment to actually do it rather than me going, oh, you just need to do this.
But actually, I mean, obviously we use Northumbria morning. We use Northumbria daily prayers, don't we? Generally morning
Yeah.
and night. That's our pattern together. We have our
Hmm.
own personal devotional life as well. But I find that really, there's just something about the pattern of it. It's not, the words kind of get into you, don't they? With any sort of liturgy, really. I think that's the advantage of using a sort of set series of prayers. They can help you do that. They remind you without you having to sort of just get lost in your own head, I think, around, um, you know,
Yes.
where God is, that this is God's world, that we live in the light of God's presence. And so I think, sometimes the kind of injunction, you're right, to go and pray kind of doesn't really help, because you kind of go, well, how do I do that? I mean, even the disciples struggle to do that, don't they? So, I think those sort of these different prayer resources that are around, whether that's the Church of England office or the
Mm.
Northumbria, or we've used David Adam one in the past, haven't we? There are lots of them around. Pray as you go as well, the little podcast we sometimes listen to. So I think there's lots of
Yeah.
helpful ways of doing that, which just help to bring your perspective back.
And
Um,
it's okay to swap and change because
and
things
it's
get
okay. Yeah,
tiring, don't they? We think
yeah,
Northumbria is really good for us at the moment, but
yeah,
a year down the line, we'll be back to
yeah,
Church of
yeah,
England daily office, and then we'll do
yeah.
that
And
for a
that was
bit.
good as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, that's right.
Whatever keeps it fresh, really, I suppose it's the
Yeah, yeah.
um
So, keep awake, keep awake. I mean, I do love some of the night prayer ones, and you do night prayer, and it's like, and the message is keep awake. You think, but I want to go to sleep. It always seems like a slight sort of,
so all right, there are angels hovering around our bed or
yeah, that's
something,
true.
but
That's true.
I don't like that one.
Um, but so yeah, keep awake, keep those disciplines, keep
Mm.
that focus, because it's very easy to get pulled away, isn't it? Even as maybe, as clergy, we're not immune to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Life is busy. Our
Yeah,
heads are busy. It's
yeah,
difficult.
you know,
It's not so much going to sleep. Well, I suppose it's spiritually asleep, but I would call it more spiritually distracted now.
yeah.
Because it's not really sleep would be great. Lord can do a lot of things while we're asleep.
Yes, that's true. What other things that
Yeah.
distract us? I think that's really interesting. Yes,
But
doom
I
scrolling.
think
You know,
it's spiritual
Facebook,
distraction,
TikTok.
really.
They're fun
Mm.
up to a point, but they can get very
Mm.
all-consuming, can't they? Can sort of send you to spiritually to sleep. Yeah.
So do you think
So,
that would be, yeah, our conclusion, really? I mean, we've got 4 weeks of getting ready, so um, we don't want to peak too soon.
yeah, I think look at the things that are going to help you to stay spiritually awake, I think is a really interesting reflection on it, isn't it? And all of those sort of different metaphors that Jesus is using, they're just pictures really they're different pictures of what it might be. And I think don't get too caught up into, is it the rapture? Am I going to be left behind? Am I going to have whatever this mark is? Or, Jesus is going to return. You're not going to miss it. You need to be spiritually awake and ready for it. What you see is not, don't get too caught up in, the wars and rumors of war stuff that we was talking about last week.
Mm.
And, you know, um, yeah, because you don't know when it's going to be. And I just suppose it's just interesting to end with this thing about, only the Father knows, in this sense, even the son doesn't know, which is a bit of a staggering thing in a way, unless you're thinking that it's this, one of the things that I read just now that was quite helpful on this. Well, the son in his earthly, at that moment, he's not
Well,
carrying all that
that's how I
information
would
around in
have
his head.
taken it.
Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
not carrying all that information around it. So he's fully human. And that's also part of the divinity,
I
the
think that's true
humanity.
anyway, because there were some other bits that he said as though they were going to happen imminently. They didn't. I'm not sure that Jesus has, in his humanly form, had the timeline.
Well, yeah, and lots of debates about that, which we probably
Mm,
haven't got time to get into now.
no.
But I think it's certainly interesting it speaks to his humanity as well as his divinity, doesn't it? That at this
Yeah.
point, when he's saying it, he doesn't know. And even so don't get caught up in all the speculation. And I think that's a really important message for it's that balance, isn't it? Don't get caught up in all the speculation, which some people run wild with, not least some of the films that you've been
Mm,
mentioning, but don't go to sleep either. There's somewhere in between those, isn't it? I think, which is
yeah.
important.
I'm going to wrap it up there. I think that don't say anymore. I think that's what you need to know.
That's it. Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you again for listening. I don't think I'm going to say we're not doing this next week. We're going to have a week off. We've got a few things going on. So we're not going
Yeah,
to do it next week, but we will be back again with some thoughts in for Advent 3, as it will be by then. But
we
thanks for
will.
listening today
Right.
and
Thanks all. Take care.
enjoy
Yeah.
Advent Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to In Conversation with Jennie and Mark. Please subscribe for more episodes on all the usual podcast platforms.